In the early Ming Dynasty, Zhu Yuanzhang, who came from a family, deeply abhorred corruption and often meted out harsh punishments to officials implicated in corruption. During the period, he oversaw two major cases that rocked the court country, both closely related to official corruption. The known as the Empty Seal case stemmed from officials falsifying tax accounts to enrich themselves. After collections, grassroots officials often encountered layers of evasion at various levels of bureaucracy, resulting in significant discrepancies between reported and actual tax amounts. To mitigate this risk, grassroots officials resorted to printing blank documents with official seals, only to calculate and the tax amounts payable for each household based on actual data during the final verification process. This persistent pattern of eventually alerted the court. After a secret investigation, Zhu Yuanzhang, enraged, executed over officials and implicated their families, resulting in tens of thousands of deaths. In the 18th year of the Han, another major corruption case erupted during the Ming Dynasty, in which officials at the Ministry of Revenue embezzles. Zhu Yuanzhang launched a thorough, years-long investigation, implicating tens of thousands of individuals. The aftermath of this case reverberated throughout the Ming Dynasty officialdom, forcing officials to refrain from even attempting illicitities regarding taxation. In the 24th year of the Han War, the prefectural governor of Shuzhou, Qian Yongqing, was suspected of embezzling taxes. The governor's surname, a name that resonated with Zhu Yuanzhang, a man of minds, resonated with a deep sensitivity towards money. Case quickly escalated into a major crime. Convinced that Qin had dared to commit such a crime, Zhu Yuanzhang immediately ordered the execution of his entire family. The personnel, preemptively preempting the imperial edict, confiscated the Qian family's wealth and brought Qian Yongqing to bay for trial. Just as Zhu Yuanzhang was about to sentence Qian to death, his son, Qian Ting, suddenly appeared in the capital, insisting on appearing before the emperor to redress his father's grievances. Normally, the guards and the city guards should have stopped him outside the city wall, but due to his status as the son of a convicted official, one dared to act rashly. The Ministry of Personnel and Imperial Guards reported the incident truthfully. Zhu Yuanzhang, frustrated by his lack of venting his anger, decided to confront Qian Jing, who had dared to plead for his father. On Qian Jing's arrival in Beijing, officials at court treaded thin ice, daring to avoid him for fear of arousing suspicion, while also fearing suspicion of collusion avoided him. This young man immediately became a hotbed, and the entire court, both civil and military, Zhu Yuanzhang would resolve the matter swiftly. Qian Jing quickly granted entry to the palace. Under the gaze of Zhu Yuanzhang and the entire court, he slowly ascended the main hall, carrying a cloth bag. Facing the emperor on the dragon, Jing immediately prostrated himself, begging his majesty to his father, Qian Yongqing, and the entire Qian family. Zhu Yuanzhang sneered. Do you know what crime you have committed, since you're begging for mercy? Do you have any grievances? To apprise? Qian Jing frankly admitted, Your Majesty, the Qian family's crimes are unforgivable. I've come today for mercy on behalf of my father's family. This act for mercy, rather than protesting injustice, stunned Yuanzhang. He had never seen such a plea for survival his entire reign. The court erupted in laughter, as the military officials waited to see how this ignorant young man would. After all, there were countless precedents of people couldn't even survive a broken head. Zhu Yuanzhang chuckled, just as he was about to order the execution of the entire Qian family. Qian Jing suddenly, on a cloth bag, pulled out a tile-shaped iron certificate, and high above his head, saying, This is a golden medal from death granted by our ancestors. These were the court into an uproar. Since the founding of the Ming Dynasty, no such pardon had ever been issued, and the officials wondered if the emperor had secretly authorized it. Zhu Yuanzhang completely bewildered. He had always detested corrupt officials. Why would they issue a pardon? Amidst the crowd's astonishment, Qian Jing handed the certificate to the eunuch in charge of and presented it to the emperor. Zhu Yuanzhang took it and examined carefully, discovering it was indeed a forged iron artifact, engraved with over 20 lines of text. The exquisite craftsmanship was clearly the work of a court artisan. His first reaction was that Empress Ma had orchestrated a means of restraining her own brutality. But with a closer look at the first line of the certificate, he was furious that the words Qianing Year for pierced his eyes was the reign title of Emperor Zhaozong of Tang, nearly 100 years after the founding of the Ming Dynasty. How could relic of a previous dynasty protect a criminal of the current day? Zhu Yuanzhang was about to throw the certificate when an official from the Ministry of Rights stepped forward and asked, This item is indeed sufficient to pardon the Qian family. It turned out that this gold-lettered iron certificate had a history, that it was a red-lettered iron certificate bestowed by Emperor Zhaozong of Tang to Qianlu, King of Wei. This founding emperor was not only a master of both and military strategists, but also had quelled the Huang Chao rebellion after the fall of Wei. The certificate was guarded by the Qian family's descendants for generations. Taizong of Song, Zhao Guangyi, once borrowed the certificate for personal inspection, and several later emperors also would, but each returned it intact, contributing to the prosperity of the Qian family. During the Yuan invasion, Qian family risked their lives to protect the certificate. With the founding of the Ming Dynasty, this 5B token has reappeared, demonstrating the new dynasty's continued legitimacy. After careful consideration, Yuanzhang finally decided to pardon the Qian family. This iron certificate of immunity from death, which survived the Tang, Song, Yuan, and Ming dynasties, only saved the Qian family from extermination. but also the continuation that of their bloodline for 1,000 years. Generations of the Chen family that produced numerous talented individuals achieved great success in various fields. And this legend became a popular legend.